It's award-winning, it's double dry hopped, it's exclusively at Tesco. Today we're drinking a double dry hopped IPA from Wild Card Brewery. Hi guys, it's Jim here from Dr. Tankenstein with another episode of Beers of the British Isles. On today's episode, we are drinking a double dry hopped IPA from Wild Card Brewery. A really cool looking beer. So I got this for £3 from Tesco. Now it's exclusively at Tesco as well, so that's the only place you can get it. I must admit, when I first saw this beer, when I first saw this can, the font, the branding on the can, and now the fact that it's exclusively at Tesco, I thought that this was kind of like a, you know, a Tesco own brand type thing, but Wild Card, an absolute 100% real brewery. So this is a double dry hopped IPA, and it has the imaginative name of double dry hopped IPA, DDH IPA. It's 7.5%. So is it a double IPA? Is it a double dry hopped IPA? I don't know. Worth a thought. A double dry hopping used to be super popular. The process probably still is. But it seems like a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago, somewhere thereabouts, every beer was double dry hopped. Every brewery out there had a double dry hopped IPA, a hazy double dry hopped IPA, a double dry hopped stout. You know, everything was double dry hopped back in the day. For those of you who don't know what dry hopping is the process of adding hops to a beer once it's either in the fermenter or has finished fermenting. So I guess it's kind of like garnishing the beer with hops, and it gives you a slightly different character to what would happen if you added the hops in the boil. So if you boil hops, you get a lot of bitterness. If you add them in the fermenter or afterwards, you don't get any bitterness, but you do get a lot of flavor from them. I think the idea behind the double dry hop was when this idea of haze came about, haze and juiciness came about. Because if you put dry hops in at the beginning of fermentation, you get that really fine haze because the yeast acts upon the hops as well and transforms certain chemicals in the hops into certain other chemicals that cause haze. So you get that haze, that juiciness from the initial dry hop. Then at the end, you go ahead and throw the regular dry hop, I guess a conventional dry hop, in at the end. And that's where you get basically the flavor of the hop that you would imagine. So from this beer, this handsome chap, I'm imagining a hazy beer. I imagine it's going to be very lightly coloured because it's going to be hazy. It's going to be very, very strong smelling of hops. You know, I'm imagining I'm going to be able to smell this out of the can. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, to be honest. I'm imagining a very, very hoppy beer. At 7.5%, I'm guessing it's going to be on the sweet side rather than the bitter side. But what do I know? Let's find out. Okay, so we're in the can. This beer is pretty much ice cold. That's the way I like it. You can have it however you like. So we're in the can, we're in the glass. I think I was pretty spot on with my color prediction, my appearance prediction. It's very, very lightly colored, maybe a bit darker than probably a bit darker than what I was shooting for, if I'm honest. Don't want to go taking credit where I don't deserve it. The haze, it does have a nice kind of hazy glow to it, but it's not super hazy as I would have thought. Looking at it, it seems to have quite a soft carbonation. When I poured the beer, the head was quite nice. seems to have dissipated a little bit. But I think looking at it, I don't know, we'll find out when I dive in. Looking at it, it seems to be quite softly carbonated, which I suppose is kind of what they're going for. With a beer like this, I know what they're doing. So soft carbonation, very lightly coloured. I imagine it's not going to be very, very malty to taste, right? Okay. Now the aroma on this, I was correct. As soon as I cracked the can open, I could smell kind of lingering, punchy hop smell, and when you smell it, it's super strongly mango scented. So this smells really, really good. It smells super juicy. I would say this is the most mango smelling beer I've ever smelled. You know, take that as you will. I don't know if you like that or not, but it really smells good. Bottoms up. Yeah, super soft palate. Really, really quite nice. There's very little information about this beer online or on the can, to be honest. The only thing the can says is that it does contain oats. So I think what they're shooting for here is kind of a New England IPA without going full force New England IPA. I think a lot of breweries do that because, I don't know, because it's nice. I guess it is nice, but maybe people don't know what a New England IPA is. So this is really, really soft in the mouth. It is on the sweet side. The carbonation is very low, which is fine. I like it. And that low carbonation and that low bitterness really let the hops speak for themselves. So I mentioned that mango aroma. That doesn't really pull through that much in the taste. Very sweet. The taste is more almost raspberry. At least it is a berry, and I can't quite put my finger on it. It's not blueberry. It's probably not strawberry. I think, yeah, there is like a raspberry edge to it. It's really good. It's almost jammy. I mean, to look at it, the appearance of this beer is very deceiving. It tastes nothing like what you think that tastes like, if I can say that. So yeah, so the haze is kind of, it's okay. What I'm imagining is, well, now that I've drank half of it, I can do that. If I give this can a little swirl and I go ahead and, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but unfortunately with beers like this, sometimes on the shelves, I don't know how long they're sat there, the haze kind of drops out and falls to the bottom. That's okay, because I don't think you can really taste haze. But what I do find is sometimes if you do that, like if you share a can with someone, the bottom of the beer tastes very different to the top of the beer. Yeah, maybe it's in my head, but that all of a sudden tastes much more lemony. It still has that super strong, super sweet berry character, but there is this touch of lemon to it now. Okay, so Wild Card Brewery, the guys that make this thing, this big blue handsome bugger, they are a real brewery. Like I said earlier, when I first saw this can on the shelves with its sort of, I don't know, clip art looking kind of logo with, I don't know. I thought it was a, if I can be frank, I thought it was a cheap imitation of a craft beer. But obviously, since then, I've found out that Wild Card Brewery are a real brewery. They were founded in 2012 in East London, and they have a couple of tap rooms now. One in Walthamshire and one in Ravensholme. I don't know where they are. I'm just quoting the internet on that one. But yeah, they're definitely a real brewery that you can go and visit too. So they have tap rooms as well. So, I mean, these guys seem like they're really living the dream. 3 kind of young people just getting out there and doing the damn thing. They've got tap rooms, you know, they're opening them up, they got big open doors. They look great. I'd really like to go to them one day. And one of the founders is an engineer, a chemical engineer, and it just further cements the fact that I should have been an engineer and not a chemist, because let's face it, engineers are always getting jobs at breweries. Yeah, so they're really living the dream. They are a real brewery. This one, though I'm enjoying it, you know, spoiler alert, though I'm enjoying the beer, this probably isn't an ideal example of theirs. There's very little information on the can. There's very little information online from those guys about this beer, which makes me wonder whether it's changeable or not because of the exclusive to Tesco type thing. But yeah, so they are a real brewery. There's very little on the can except the fact that they give the artwork guy credit, which I think is awesome. Obviously they're on there too, but the guy that designed this artwork is, if I can read it from the can, Valero Deval. So Valero Deval, nice can, mate. Okay, let's sum this thing up. This beer comes in a cool looking can and it has a cool looking appearance once you pour it out. I'm drinking it cold, as I implore you guys to too. So it smells really good. You can smell it right out of the can. It's very, very aromatic. If you do smell it, you're hit with mango straight away. Mango, and it almost smells sweet, if that makes sense. It almost smells sweet. I'd love to know what the IBU of this is. Maybe I'll get a can and test it in the future. But yeah, very, very mango-y, sweet mango smell. And that's basically it in the aroma, which isn't a bad thing. So I'm gonna taste it. Beautifully soft. What I like here, like I said earlier, they're probably shooting for a New England IPA without saying so. I mean, obviously I'd hate to tell them what they're trying to do. So, you know, I'm just rambling it. If that's not what you're trying to do at all, I apologize. I think what they're trying to do is shoot for that New England IPA, I think, my opinion. But I love the fact that what they've done is they've gone, yep, we'll put oats in there. Yep, we'll double dry hop it so it's hazy. We'll do the low carbonation so that it's got a soft mouthfeel. No, we won't make it super bitter, because a lot of beers kind of tick most boxes on this kind of sheet, but for some reason the bitterness is always slightly higher than you want. I don't know whether that's a procedural thing, whether other breweries kind of just accidentally have a more bitter beer. But these guys, I think, have hit this mouthfeel spot on. The mango flavor that I was getting, or the mango aroma that I was getting, doesn't quite carry through to the flavor. The flavor's jam-packed. It's very jammy. Say jam again, jam. Yeah, quite berryish, a lot of berries in there. The mango is there a little bit. And the mouthfeel that you get from that initial dry hop, that biotransformation dry hop that I'm assuming they did, like I say, I actually have very little information on this, I'm making a lot of assumptions, really, really coats your mouth with that beautiful hop flavor, and it just sticks there. This is a good beer. I reckon everyone gets out there. Head down to Tesco, part your £3, grab yourself one of these, worth every penny. Also, if you're in the area, head down to their tap rooms and have a beer with the guys, because they look like a fun crowd. Yeah, so this is a good beer. If it were a song, I would say that this beer in song form is Roanna's Song by the Skints. Not a popular song, but it's such a great, beautiful song that kind of just drifts around. It's got a bit of reggae in it. It's so cool. And the skins are from East London too. So that's my choice. Go grab your Wild Card Brewery beers from Tesco or from the brewery themselves. If you like it, grab the can, take it down to your local bottle shop and ask them for something similar. There's loads out there. Until then, cheers guys.